Hi everybody, Jacob Reed here from ReviewEcon.com. Today we're going to be looking at the AP Macroeconomics exam from 2022. This is set 1, question number 2. In order to do well on this question, you should be through Unit 5. If after watching this video you still need a little more help, head over to ReviewEcon.com and pick up the Total Review booklet. It has everything you need to know to ace your microeconomics or macroeconomics exam. Let's get into it. For this question, we're going to assume that we have a limited or scarce reserve system, even though it doesn't say that here, newer questions would. And we're going to assume that the central bank has a reserve requirement of 20%. That central bank is now going to sell $100,000 of government bonds directly to commercial banks. We're going to calculate the maximum change in the money supply and tell us whether it increased or decreased, and we have to show our work. And as I just mentioned, we are assuming limited reserves here. The change in reserves times the money supply will equal the change in the money supply from the change in reserves. And we also need to know that the money multiplier is 1 divided by the reserve requirement. Now we can start showing our work. The money multiplier is 1 divided by the 20% reserve requirement, which is 5. Take that 5 multiplier times the change in reserves of $100,000, and that equals a $500,000 decrease in the money supply as a result of this sale of government bonds. And make sure you have identified it as a $500,000 decrease. And if you've identified it correctly and shown your work like that, you get yourself a point. For part B, we're going to graph the money market and show the impact of the change in the money supply we just identified on the nominal interest rate. Sketch out the graph with the nominal interest rate on the y-axis and the quantity of money on the x-axis. We have a downward sloping demand curve, vertical supply curve, and the equilibrium quantity and nominal interest rate marked. As we just calculated, there's a decrease in the money supply as a result of the sale of government bonds, so we need to draw in that shift to the left and show the increase in the equilibrium nominal interest rate. And if you've got the graph looking like that, you get yourself 2 points, 1 for the graph and 1 for the shift. For part C, given the money supply change that we just identified, if the velocity of money is constant, what will happen to nominal gross domestic product? And we have to explain. In order to answer this question, we need to remember the monetary equation of exchange. Both sides of that equation equal nominal GDP. M is the money supply, V is the velocity of money, P is the price level, and Y is real output. So we're going to decrease the money supply while the velocity of money is constant. Mathematically, that means that other sides of this equation must also fall. So PY decreases, and so does nominal GDP. So now we just have to explain what we just discovered. Decrease, because nominal GDP is the money supply times the velocity of money. Less money supply with a constant velocity of money means less nominal GDP. And if you haven't answered something like that, you get yourself a point. For part D, based on the nominal GDP change we just identified in part C, we have to say what will happen to the price level if real GDP is constant. Getting back to our monetary equation of exchange, if we see that Y is also going to be constant now, then the price level must fall in order for the equation to hold true. And so that means the answer here is decrease. And there you have it. That's how you should answer the 2022 AP Macroeconomics Exam Set 1, question number 2. If you still need more help after that, head over to ReviewEcon.com and pick up that Total Review booklet. That's it for now. I'll see y'all next time.